Making content by yourself is very tedious, but making content by yourself and building a business in public and documenting that is pretty chaotic if you don't have the right systems in place. Because if you're a one-person team, everything falls back on you. So your job and your goal is to remove all the manual repetitive tasks that shows up. Luckily in this video, I'm going to show you my exact system that I use to go from idea to a full video by using Claude and ChatGPT and some other tools. Everything that I mentioned in this video will be in the description down below. And let's get into the video. I'm going to show you my exact system. Let's go. All right, so this is the exact system. This is my actual system for creating content. As someone who's building in public, especially building in public by yourself, it's kind of hard to have a team. So you're pretty much doing this all by yourself. So my team right now, it's going to be AI. I'm just going to be real. That's going to be my team. So let's actually get straight into this. The tools that you're going to be using: ChatGPT, Claude, Claude Code, Whisperflow, YouTube Transcribe.io, and then you have GitHub. A lot of them are free. The only ones that are not free is Claude and ChatGPT. It's because you're going to run through a lot of limitations if you do the free version. You can do the free version, but you're going to have a lot of crutches and barriers up in place, and the system is not going to run smoothly. But before we get into describing the actual system, there are two things that you need to know first. You need to know what a context file is, and you need to know what a skills file is. A context file, if you don't already know, is a file that holds information. Think of AI like a car. It doesn't matter how fancy the car is. Your car will not go far if it doesn't have the right engine. And in this case, the engine stands for the right information. It doesn't matter what AI model you use. If it doesn't have the right information, it won't give you the right output. It will essentially just give you AI slop. Now, a skills file is something different. A skills file, it takes a repeated workflow that you do manually and pretty much automate that for you, so that whenever you might need to write a script, in this example, it automatically takes that idea and writes it out in a template form so that you don't got to do that every single time. So once you have those two things in mind, you're straight, because everything else builds off of them. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get into the first step. We have to build the actual context file. This is the brain behind everything. This is what allows all the future outputs that AI gives us to be consistent with our business and with our brand. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to open up Claude or ChatGPT or whichever app has the most information about you. And then you're going to ask it to tell you everything it already has on you, like what it knows about you and what it knows about your business. And then you're going to go to the description below and you're going to download the file for the prompts, the skills, and the templates. And you're going to drag and drop the context prompt into either Claude or ChatGPT, whichever one you're using, and it's going to build out a context file. Now, once it builds out that context file, you're going to copy that context file. You're going to save it, and you're also going to copy it and go to settings. In both Claude and ChatGPT, there's a section called instructions for Claude or instructions for ChatGPT. You're going to paste that context file into that section. And now from now on, whenever we have a new conversation with ChatGPT or Claude, it will remember and stay consistent with who you are and what your business is. That is the most important thing, because everything else builds off of this. If you don't have that right, nothing will work. Okay, now this is how I come up with ideas. This part, in my opinion, when I found this out, I thought this was gold. I thought this was automatically just game changer. Now, I have these systems run automatically. I have agents that do this stuff for me. Like the context file, you make that once and you don't need to remake it over and over again. You can add more to it, but the goal is to have a very concise context file, because you don't want it to be bombarded with so much information because AI has to reread that every single conversation. That burns up a lot of tokens. That in itself is just a whole different world. But when I found this out, as someone trying to build in public, record the process of me building my business and showing that, it takes a lot of effort to do research on your own. And you might can use other tools, but it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. And with ChatGPT, you can just do it for $20 a month. So this is how this works. I have a prompt for you. You're gonna take that prompt, you're gonna open up ChatGPT and paste it into ChatGPT. Then from there, you're gonna click on the plus icon. And you're gonna scroll down until you see the deep research feature. Now, before I continue, this feature is only on the web app version. So you're gonna have to log into Chrome or Safari because for some reason the actual app doesn't have the deep research feature. But in this prompt that I give you, it does a market research. So it searches through their comment sections on YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and it figures out what gap is not being filled so that you can position yourself to fill in that gap for your audience in your own, distinct, unique way. Once you paste in that prompt, you hit send. ChatGPT already knows all the information about you because we built that context file. So now it's going to take about 7 minutes to create a in-depth research report, market research report. This is very crucial because before, without this tool, it would take you, and I know this from experience, it'd probably take you about 2 weeks to manually go through each comment section on each social media because it takes a lot of information. I mean, it takes a lot of time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't have just 24 hours of just straight grinding of looking through comment sections and trying to find, what problems your audience are still experiencing, right? That your competitor is not solving. Now, this tool, it cuts that down in half to like 7 minutes, which is crazy. When I found that out, I knew I needed to create an agent that does this for me every single morning. But that's for another video. This video is just to give you the tools so that you can just get your foot into the door, right? So after it finishes, after the 7 minutes, it creates a research report. I take that research report and I bring it into Claude. Claude looks at the report. It has an update on my market, so it knows what's actually relevant and what I need to work on and what I need to actually focus on. And then from there, I go through some ideas, I run it through Claude, and how I do it, I don't just type it out, I just talk it out by using WhisperFlow. See, this is why WhisperFlow, which is free, but you can literally just speak out what you're thinking instead of typing it out. And speaking it out gets it closer to how you sound and what you're actually thinking. And this is where I work with Claude. Claude, or AI, doesn't generate the script from scratch on its own without me. That's why a lot of people get what is called AI slop. It's when you do not provide enough information or context for the AI. Even though we created the context file, even though we just provided it the market research, it still needs more information so that it sounds naturally closer to you than it sounding like AI. Me and Claude will go back and forth. I will read the script. I'll go over it 2 or 3 times with WhisperFlow, reading it out loud so that it sounds more natural to me. I like to create a bulletin point so that I can just read through it, figure out what needs to go, what needs to stay, because sometimes the output that AI gives you is not perfect, so you're gonna have to keep refining it. Think about this. The WhisperFlow tool cuts so many hours in half. And pairing that with Claude cuts so many days in half. Like, imagine how many scripts for videos that you can come up with on the fly. You now have a partner who's tailored specifically to your business. It knows everything about you, all the relevant information about you. But now you have a partner to work with you. And just imagine, because you probably understand this, how long it used to take to manually write script. You would have to type it out or you would have to write it out and then you would have to refine it. But now you have a partner who can regenerate the script for you. And now you have a tool where you can just speak it out instead of typing it out. Now, to make scripting so much easier, I'm referencing back to the scripting skill. You want to take that skill, drag and drop it in Claude, and this is what I normally do. I go to YouTube, find the top performing videos when it comes to script writing, hooks, video performance. I'll take that, plug those videos into youtube.transcript.io, and it'll give me the transcripts. I'll feed that back into Claude, and Claude will digest and diagnose and understand how those videos actually work and apply that to my own workflow. So that from now on, when I create scripts, it follows that flow. After we've created the script, then we go ahead and, record it. You record the video. It really doesn't take too much for you to do that. You just press record on the camera. You can use your phone. You don't need like a professional camera. I'm using my phone right now. And once you have the video, edit it, all that stuff, right? Now, once you're done with the video, this part is very crucial with improving on each video. I like to call it the grade section. This is where Claude will watch your video and grade your video on what worked and what needs improvement for the next video. Now, Claude naturally doesn't know how to watch videos. It can't actually see the video without help. So this is where the GitHub repo that I have in the description below will help. Once you go to GitHub, you want to copy the link and paste it into Claude. Once you install that, now Claude is able to actually watch your videos, which is so cool because it can watch it frame by frame. It can actually hear the audio and transcribe it so they can have the full context behind what your video is actually saying and what it looks like. So from there, it's actually able to grade your video and tell you what you need to improve on for the next video. Right there is so important. And not only can it do that, it can also watch your competitor's video, break those down, and implement that into the next video so that you can improve your videos as you go on. And that's the whole system. Okay, let's do a quick recap on what we just built. We built the context file, which is the brain behind this whole system, a research tool that helps us get relevant information about our competitors and our audience. We took that information, put it into Claude, came up with some ideas. We downloaded and installed a skill that allows us to build out scripts that are ready to be used. From there, we refine the script so that it sounds more and more like us. And then we record. And then once the video is done, we grade the video so that we know what we need to improve on for the next video. And that's the whole system. This system is meant to be as easy as possible. I mean, all of this can be installed today. I provided you a free guide down below that goes over exactly what was taught in this video. It gives you everything that you'll need, the resources, the prompts, so that you can make progress immediately. Everything is linked in the description. You can just grab it. And if you guys like this video, I make videos like this pretty often. I'm just documenting my process of building my business in public. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.